Hello, everyone! Moon's mouth is full.
That sounds
Casey's mouth is
wrong.
full.
It sounds wrong. It's brownie. It's really good. I'm eating during this podcast.
I have gummies.
No, don't eat gummies. Those are chewy and they'll get stuck in your teeth and you won't be able to talk at all. I can at least talk in between bites.
So what are we doing today?
Oh, we're making a world make sense. We probably should have done this like 3 weeks ago, but things happen. So if you haven't seen it, we did a world where it's pretty much a competition. Isaac goes off trying to make the craziest things he can think of using items in the room, and I try to beat his world. And in this particular one, it ended up with both of us becoming trees and ruling over the world side by side, terrorizing the unicorns. So that's kind of where it ended.
There was also a giant Pac-Man who chased you around on this.
We put him in the video
world
game,
made
though.
of- Yeah, the world was made of like grass. Like that's what covered the surface of the earth. And every direction Pac-Man went, he changed the gravity to go with him.
It was weird, and today we're gonna make it less weird. We're gonna make it a world that I don't know you could see yourself living in. I guess is the goal.
We're trying to make it more realistic. Well, not realistic. More serious world building. Something you could actually see having an actual story take place in, rather than the nonsense and chaos
That is
that
Pac-Man.
just came out of my mind.
Yeah, which means step one is delete Pac-Man or change him into something else.
I mean, yeah, Pac-Man, he doesn't really make sense in the world. He was just so random. And he's very specific to a video game. Like, I don't know if he really works
Yeah,
in this world.
I don't think he should be allowed to live in this. I'm not against the idea of there being something else that affects gravity. I just don't
It
think it
definitely
can
can't
be
affect the
Pac-Man.
world, though.
What do you mean? Like, oh, just
Like, it can't
around
affect
him,
the
maybe.
whole world. 'Cause,
Yeah.
yeah, just around him, like, localized area has control over individual objects. But Pac-Man, no, it's gotta be something else. Do we want a different, large creature?
I mean, I think it should stay true to Pac-Man. Like, a yellow gravity-changing creature that's giant isn't... there's other ways to do it. Like, what would you think it need to change gravity? Would it have to be flying then, so it can fly and change it? And it can stay stable in gravity while everything else around it goes to chaos?
Well, if you can manipulate gravity, I don't think wings and flying is really necessary.
Well, I mean, I figured you'd want to catch your prey that you are sending into the stratosphere via your gravity manipulation.
Okay, now how is the gravity manipulation working? Is it like like a spherical area that is now affected? Is it like square foot radius or something? Is it an area only just a small area around this person or this creature? What is it?
I mean, I guess it should be somewhat avoidable, but at the same time, you can get caught in it. Some people wander into it accidentally, or they're trying to avoid it and fail. So maybe a area of effect. So it depends on the size of the creature, how big its area would be.
I mean, because we had a giant Pac-Man, I feel like we have to stay true to the original idea at least somewhat and have a giant creature.
Also, this creature might as well be floating. It is a gravity controlling creature if it wants to float.
We could go the route of dragon,
We
like
could.
dragon that just floats, or what?
Oh, like a wingless dragon?
Yeah, a wingless dragon.
Yeah, except this one like maybe golden. So it has golden
Yes,
scales.
it's a golden. Yeah, it's golden dragon. It's wingless, and it just sort of like worms through the air. It slithers through the air like a snake.
Yeah. And I don't think it has a terribly big radius. It's mostly around itself, but like maybe a couple feet. Enough so it can play with other things. It's mostly so if it's hungry, it can float up to something and then say up into my mouth and just be lazy about it.
Ooh, maybe instead of dragon breath, it has gravity breath.
Oh, so it breathes, so it has like the radius of a dragon fire breath.
Yeah, like you could make it so like maybe it could like manipulate gravity in like whichever direction it's facing. It could either push, pull, float, move up.
It just has really
Acts kind
strong
of like a tractor.
lungs.
Yeah, kinda. It just kind of acts kind of like a tractor beam, basically.
Okay. I'm down
Except
with
it's
that.
a magic dragon tractor beam.
I am down with that. I like that. Okay, so Pac-Man has been turned into a golden dragon with gravity tractor beam breath.
Yeah. Now, glass grass. That was another one of the first things that was introduced.
It's
So I think glass forest would be cool.
honestly, I think the grass. My goodness, you did this only so I would mess up and stutter throughout the entire show. The
Yeah.
glass grass, I think could be fine if it was like more like a plastic glass, like a bendable, like it just bends with your weight like normal glass.
I actually originally considered making the glass grass actually plastic grass.
Yeah,
That was the original idea.
I'm not sure plastic's the right word, but like a bendable.
Flexible glass. Maybe, I mean, but why would we have an entire like world of glass grass? It feels weird, and also if you
Okay,
again,
well,
if you
I
try
think
to mow your
actually,
lawn-
I think pretty much what it is, it's honestly just see-through grass. Oh my gosh. It is see-through grass. So it's not glass grass, it's just clear grass.
I mean, we could do that, but
And they
does
call
have any
it
sort of special
glass.
properties?
Well, they call it glass grass because it's see-through. And I don't know, I could be fun to make mat. I guess it would make like good bug netting. So it's a see-through bug
netting?
net. Yeah, like you know when you get netting, you can make grass netting to protect yourself while you sleep. But the problem with it is it's not see-through. But now it's see-through. You can see through it. Or other things like window mat. Like you could do a lot of really thick grass mats, which is a thing. So this should be a type of grass that can be matted. And using that, you can now just have see-through versions of that, which I think can be useful.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just colorless grass. It's just a feature of the world. You're just always seeing the dirt.
Oh, well, now it's kind of disappointing.
Well, yeah, but you
Yeah,
know,
we could do that. We could do that. It's just see-through grass.
yeah, it
Uh,
doesn't hurt as much.
but thing is, I feel like there should be some kind of theme with the plants because we've also got the bamboo and the trees.
Well, the trees are living entities, deities, you could say. I think,
Yeah.
but the bamboo seemed the bamboo had a living thing. It had relationships with the unicorns, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yep.
Like, to make a baby unicorn, a bamboo and a mommy bamboo would actually, I don't know what gender would have to be which, but an
I don't know if
unspecified.
bamboo has gender.
Well, I assume
Bamboo.
well, I'm assuming
It's a stick.
it's producing baby unicorns with other unicorns, so it's doing something.
Okay.
Because they're related to the bamboo, remember? You did that.
Yep. They have relatives. I think we gotta remove that part.
Probably.
That's just too weird.
It was weird when you said it, and the fact that they won't live next to each other still. I mean, the idea of a unicorns having hostility towards bamboo, or having a love-hate relationship with bamboo still could be an interesting element.
Okay.
It just doesn't have to be sexual.
So, so maybe the bamboo is not really sentient. Maybe
Yeah.
it's like just a normal bamboo resource that the unicorns have a love-hate relationship with.
Yeah. So why would they have a love-hate relationship with bamboo?
Maybe they find it incredibly useful, but it's so invasive that it's just taking over their homes. I don't know.
True.
That's the
We
first
did
thing
make
in my
a
mind.
particularly aggressive form of bamboo growth-wise.
Yeah, and bamboo is already very invasive.
Yeah.
Like once you plant bamboo, you can't get rid of it essentially.
I mean, you can. It just takes effort. But I yeah, that could be just it. Like maybe they use it a lot in building, and the big thing with the unicorns was water. Like I feel like instead of it being pool related and like that version, it
Ooh,
should just
noodly, yeah.
yeah, I think it should be more that like these are unicorns that you know how most unicorns are associated with like the elements of air and stuff like that. Some of them, I think this one would be better
Yeah.
if they're just associated with the element of water. So I always associated unicorns with water. I just know that's not a normal thing to do.
Okay, I say that these unicorns have the ability to grow a fish tail and basically become mer unicorns.
I can agree with that.
That sounds magical and fantasy enough for a unicorn.
It does indeed.
That's a water unicorn. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just
So they can do
associated with
that.
water.
Uh,
So bamboo's very good at transporting water and also highly relies on water and stuff. So I could see them becoming associated with bamboo because they need it to help either, like transport water or do whatever for building purposes. But at the same time, once they start, taking over their river or their houses and stuff, I would start getting annoyed too and want it confined into an area that's not the main village.
okay, do these unicorns have any sort of magical abilities beyond turning into a fish-like creature?
Well, they were keeper of the magic snow
The
globe.
snow globe,
We should talk about the snow globe.
the wish-granting
Uh
snow globe.
huh. Yeah, it
Um,
only granted wishes related to cold.
Yeah, that's like so. An air conditioner, you could wish for that.
I could wish
do we
for a
wanna-
Pac-Man machine, but it had to be self-cooling.
I kind of feel like it needs to be more. More water related.
Yeah, that
Water
was
related.
what I was thinking. Like you can make wishes, but they have to be related to. They have to involve water. And again, we also had the unicorns. Well, it could be a narwhal thing that we did when we were making the narwhals make sense. In that we need the narwhal's permission. So in this case, we would need the unicorn's permission. Like they
Yeah.
censor the wishes, but they can still be there can still be a magical object in which the unicorns get their power. Maybe just not a snow globe.
Okay. So what about a seashell or like a clam thing, oyster?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something
Maybe it's a
aquatic.
magic pearl.
The pearl's a pretty classic one for magical sea related entities.
Yeah, we could do that.
We could bring back in like we had the gold dragon. It's a gold pearl.
Oh yeah, he's not really doing anything, is he? He's just sort of
No,
there.
I mean he's eating people. You sucking them up with its gravity breath.
Okay, so he's just like a natural danger sort of thing.
I mean, Pac-Man didn't do anything either. So,
I mean,
Okay.
but he wasn't supposed. Nothing was supposed to make sense in that world.
yeah, but like I feel like that's something that a lot of worlds miss is that sometimes you can have things in your world that are just there. And they don't need like a purpose in the sense that they are creating this great thing or grand thing. They could just be like, "Oh, this is a danger of the world. We either avoid it or we deal with it." But
Maroon.
yeah, like you could kill the dragon, you could avoid the dragon. Just know that the dragon is a thing you have to deal with. But it doesn't necessarily need like a grander purpose. A lot of things on Earth don't have grander purposes. So, if anything, I feel like it adds more realism to the story just to have things exist.
Yeah, but when it comes to writing a story, generally, if you introduce something as major as this brand new type of dragon with gravity powers, when you're writing this story, that's the sort of thing like viewers are going to read about and expect it to play a major role.
Honestly, just write them like you do the rodents of unusual size from Princess Bride. Those things
in
aren't
that
explained. They just exist. They show up once, you deal with them, and you move on.
Yeah, so it's like, again, like I was saying before, it's a natural danger that of the world that you just.
Yeah. You it doesn't need a grand purpose. You do have to use it. Like if you mention the dragon, it's got to show up at some point.
The same way you mentioned the ROUSs, they got to show up.
Yeah, they mentioned it in the movie, and we all were like, "Where's the giant rat showing up?" That's kind of where I feel about the dragon. The unicorns, though, on the other hand, I feel like have a grander purpose as keepers of the water and granters of water-related wishes using their golden pearl. I like themes. That's all. So that's why I want it to be gold.
Maybe the unicorns are the suppliers of water to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And when they are suppliers to the water to the rest of the world, maybe they also are what the trees rely on to survive.
Yeah, we should talk about the trees. We should talk about our deities.
Yes, so the trees. In the previous world, the original tree goddess gave people homework. Like, that was her grand thing, was she gave people homework.
I also murdered her.
Oh yeah, there was that too.
Yep, so she did.
And then became her.
Yes, I took over her job because she was not educating the people as well.
Okay, so what does the tree do in this world? Because I don't think homework should be...
Well, so I think the main thing, there were two trees. There was one tree that's job was to cause chaos, pretty much. And strife amongst the people and things like that. And then there was the other tree whose main job was to educate the people on how to deal with the chaos that was happening. And unbeknownst to the chaos-causing tree, they were actually both working pretty well together to educate the people and, like, for lack of a better word, evolve them to be the best forms of humanity and advance in, like, science and technology and knowledge.
Okay, so one is just, like, keeping everyone on their toes, and then the other one is making sure they don't die while they're on their toes.
Yes. Making sure Mr. Chaos Tree doesn't go too far. And, giving advice and, like, education tips and stuff. Someone comes to them with the Chaos Tree might cause a winter that's lasting longer than usual. And the people in response have started learning how to maybe do underground farms where they can grow food without relying on the heat there. But so they're making artificial sunlight, but they're having issues with it and it's not quite working. They would then go to the teacher tree and be like, "Hey, what's wrong with this? If we don't get this working soon, we'll all starve to death." And she would then...
They've also unicorns for water.
Yeah. And they would help and all that, so...
Yeah, so that's an option. Yeah. Now, is the evil tree, like, are they actually, like, one is evil, one is good, or are they fighting each other, or are they actually working together?
See, I want to call it an evil tree. I'm calling it a chaos tree for the reason that, like, it's not always doing good things, but sometimes if what causes the most chaos is to do something good, like, say, make everyone rich for several days and watch the economy burn.
And that could be a thing where it's like, oh my gosh, the chaos tree is turned over a new leaf. It's raining gold and silver. And then after a week, it's like all food production has ceased, and suddenly no one's working, and
it turns into Spain after the gold rush. Spain did not do well after the gold rush.
And everyone's like, oh no, this isn't as good of a thing as we thought.
Exactly. And then this would be the point where the other tree would come in and teach, economy and interest rates and the importance of everyone doing their role, and also of respecting those of, like, more manual job labor and making sure you're paying them well, so that way they'll continue doing their work. And then at some point maybe the tree would try to take away some of the money and stuff and, like, try to balance society again, but that could be harder. But that's kind of what their roles are. So it's just one causes chaos and the other tries to educate the people via that chaos.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Now...
Which does kind of mean that both of them can do pretty much anything they want. They're all powerful.
Yeah.
And this can also explain the dragon and the unicorns if you want. It was just a chaos thing that never fully came under control.
Okay. So the tree, when the chaos tree is doing something, does the uh good tree? What do we call the good tree? Like if
Teacher
it's not the
tree,
chaos tree, is the teacher tree, order tree, uh,
knowledge tree.
balance tree, harmony tree?
I don't know
Uh,
what
I
goes with
don't know.
chaos. What
I
complements
always
chaos?
associate like the opposite of chaos as harmony.
But this
Uh,
the tree isn't the opposite of
monotone.
chaos. It's a complement to it.
The monotone
Well,
tree.
now it just sounds boring. Education isn't boring, Isaac. It's important. People should stay in school.
I've had many a boring classes.
Yeah, but there's interesting ones mixed in, and this is every topic is if they don't listen, they die. So slightly more
There is
interesting,
that.
right?
Like I think that people are going to be far more willing to learn and have far more of a desire to learn in this world than they would in our world because it's like if you don't learn this, you die.
Yeah, it has a more direct, and that's why I feel like these people are actually extremely intelligent and like advancing surprisingly fast because they have to.
Yeah, you'd think like maybe I would think that maybe one of their main goals would be destroy the chaos tree.
I think, well, for one, the chaos tree can do whatever the heck it wants, so that'd be a bit challenging. And at the same time, I liked the idea where we had the teacher tree was the visual tree. So that was the tree everyone could see. And the chaos tree was like in the roots growing underground and was very hard to get to. And almost like that the chaos tree is protected by teacher tree. Because
Yeah, I'd say
teacher
like
tree
it's
needs
like
chaos tree.
yeah, I'd say like I'd say that the teacher tree can it would either be protecting the chaos tree for one or both reasons. Which the reasons would be either if the chaos tree dies, the teacher tree dies,
Yeah.
and also maybe she knows that if the chaos tree dies, then uh, everyone becomes dumb.
Well, not necessarily
Like
dumb, but like the
over
desire
time, society will slow down, and the desire for learn will cease, and they'll all just
they'll
they'll just
plateau
watch TikTok all
and it
day.
won't. Yeah, they'll plateau and then the teacher tree loses its purpose, which is to teach. So
They'll just watch TikTok all day.
yeah, they'll become our society. It's not. We don't want that. We want the drive to learn new things and get excited about it, and chaos is what does that. Like let's use a real world example and think about like Russia and Ukraine. Out of curiosity, before the war, how many people even knew Ukraine existed? Now, pretty much,
I don't know.
yeah, not as many as you. It's kind of sad how few people actually knew about that Ukraine existed. But nowadays, like everyone knows Ukraine exists. Everyone has a basic understanding of Ukraine and Russia's relationship and their history. And people know a ton about Ukraine's culture and stuff because that's what's being destroyed. And things like you have learned so much more about this because of the chaos that's occurring in Ukraine. So, whether we like it or not, chaos does cause for education and the desire to learn and stuff. It just does.
I mean, I was thinking it was more along the lines of necessity is the mother of invention,
Yeah, there's that
uh,
too.
where like maybe 100 years ago, there there were people had to work a lot harder, and even actually if you go back even further, it was that we would have gotten to a point where it was like every day, uh, every pretty much everybody's like a farmer. Like hundreds of years ago, everybody's a farmer because everybody's got to be able to produce food for them to live on and store for the winter. And you got to get up early in the morning, you got to take care of the fields, work at bugs. Like it's a lot of hard manual labor. They didn't have like tractors or anything back then. Lots of hard labor. And then after we advanced in technology and we didn't have to worry as much about the manual labor and a lot of natural dangers of the world became shielded from us when we built things like houses and then we advanced in medicine. Basically, we became a lot more comfortable, and from that, we haven't stopped advancing, but in technology and stuff. But many of us like have
We've
lost sort of the
plateaued.
desire to learn and stuff.
We've
We like
plateaued.
again, like I was saying, we all how many people? Let me ask you a question: how many people in this world are looking to become particle physicists? Not
Yeah.
many.
Yeah.
Now, how many people are looking to watch TikTok every day?
Way too many.
Yeah, like exactly. Like that's the sort of thing where because people don't need to go and learn all this stuff and do all this hard work, they choose to watch TikTok instead.
Yeah, so if anything, I feel like the world is lacking a bit of chaos. Not to say I want World War III or anything as drastic as that, to force people to become doctors and warriors and stuff, but just people to, I don't know, get their drive for learning back. And I like this world simply because that drive is always there, because there's always something new happening to them. Maybe we just need global warming to hurry up so we start inventing new things to stop it faster. Let's see some real signs of it, and then maybe we'll start paying attention. It's like a story with refrigerators. So refrigerators were invented because we had the need to keep our food cold to last longer. It was from that necessity, we created the refrigerator. Little did we know that the first refrigerator was destroying our ecosystems. It was putting a hole in the ozone layer. It was it was bad.
The
And
refrigerator?
it was the chemicals that were keeping a refrigerator cold. For one, you had to refill that constantly, so it would just seep out and it would seep into the atmosphere, and it was causing some serious damage. And it caused the major countries of the world to come together and say, all right, we need to ban this substance and come up with something new. And now we have
just the refrigerator.
It's the chemicals from the refrigerator. Yes, we're doing this. It was a popular chemical, but it was not good. Yeah, so the world met together in a meeting to talk about refrigerators and how we needed to change them, or else society was going to literally burn. And during that meeting, more innovation happened. The refrigerators are now, we don't have to refill them with this chemical, and which is great. So not having to refill a refrigerator with chemicals is a great thing. And they're no longer producing that dangerous chemical that was causing the atmosphere to have holes in it. And in fact, the atmosphere is now healing itself again and getting back to normal. It's still not there. That's how much damage we did, is that years and years later it's still struggling. But it's on the mends, which is good.
From a refrigerator?
From a refrigerator.
If people are talking about like cars and airplanes and all
the refrigerator
all this massive pollution, how we're putting out more pollution than we ever have before. But no, it was like a refrigerator was apparently like the main culprit.
Seriously, guys, look it up. It is a fascinating story, and seeing how the world reacted and came together to fix it it's a very inspiring story that not many people know about, and more people.
It sounds like it's like the forgotten era in history.
Yeah.
Great refrigerator tragedy.
Yeah, and now we have better refrigerators for it, and it also was the first thing that made people aware of humans' impact on the environment and ecosystem, like on a larger scale. Like, it made people realize, oh, maybe we should be more careful with the chemicals and stuff we're using, because if we're not careful, we could actually, like, destroy the Earth. Like, we're capable of that now. We should be more cautious.
Yeah, Elon Musk is saying, nope, I'm just abandoning the Earth. I'm going to go start a new colony on Mars.
Well, he's also making electric cars, which is going to help, and try to make them affordable for the everyman.
Oh, yeah. Like, I've heard that it requires a lot of emissions to create the batteries for those cars, but I doubt that it's equivalent to what you spend on a car gas.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure though. I haven't actually looked at the numbers, but that's just
and they're working on lowering that. Like, that's the end goal, was to make a vehicle that's very nature friendly, and then make it affordable so we could all have access to it. I'm personally very much excited about the electric car and where that's coming from and where that's going, and I'm looking forward to it. As soon as I can afford an electric car, I will definitely switch over to one. I just can't afford it now. Like, I can't. They're too expensive. But when I can, you better believe I will happily make the switch.
Yeah, I'd love to have an electric car, but like you said, expensive.
Exactly. But they're working on that. And hopefully soon it won't be, and it'll be the price of a normal car. Hopefully in the
Hopefully
next
it'll be
20
less.
years, because then New York is going to ban anything but selling electric cars. So I need it by then,
Yeah.
please.
I can see that happening.
We got really off topic. We turned into education and environment, and hopefully you guys learned
didn't
something
even-
today.
We didn't even get into the different forms of like energy and stuff. Anyway, back
Oh my
to world building. What next? Okay, so the chaos tree, it had a lot of minions.
It did. It had goblins and things. I mean, it probably still can, like minions that help cause chaos. More on the smaller scale. So the
I'm
chaos
thinking
tree can
that-
focus on the big scale.
I'm thinking that maybe, maybe the chaos tree is often using the minions to cause chaos, either as a distraction or maybe to help achieve a bigger, chaotic
I think
event,
something
like-
though we should keep is that the teacher tree does have a level of control over these minions as well.
maybe they want to serve the chaos tree. They love the chaos tree, but this is where the teacher tree. It's like the mother walks in and says,
Yes.
"What are you doing, children?
Like
My
you're
friend told me to do this thing, and I said you can't do this thing.
yes.
Go into the timeout corner."
Yeah.
I
That's
think that might be the relationship. Is it's like they fear the big tree that's like a parent or something, and then
I mean, it
they
could just
aren't-
be that, well, the chaos tree can summon and, like, create these creatures. The teacher tree has the ability to decreate them and, like, poof them out of existence. And therefore, they have to be careful of what the teacher tree says. And if the teacher tree says, you're going too far, they're like, okay, we'll stop, because if not, then she'll make them stop. Because they
Yeah.
won't exist.
Yeah, so they want to serve the chaos tree, but they can't always do that. So they gotta do it in secret.
Yeah.
Sneak around town and everything.
Yeah, pretty much. Which makes it more entertaining, I think, story-wise.
Now, we never actually developed this part of the world, but how do they get from underneath the Earth's surface to above the Earth's surface? Does the chaos tree like open a hole in the ground that they crawl through, or what?
I don't know. I mean, it seemed like we almost suggested like a maze, like people could get to it if they want to. But I'm thinking for the safety of the chaos tree, that just shouldn't be a thing. Like, it should be completely closed off. Which does mean that I think the chaos tree just makes tunnels and openings and stuff. Or can teleports the minions to where it needs them to be. These are all powerful beings that can change the weather and stuff like that at will. I think if the chaos tree wants a minion on the other side of the state, it is there.
Yeah, I like the idea of just like them just opening a hole in the ground and crawling through.
I mean, they could come out of the ground in whatever spot they want, just for theatrics.
Yeah. Like a zombie pulling up through the earth.
Sure.
Maybe there was something else I was gonna say. I can't remember what it was.
We do have the teacher's tree. Her big ability was the her root spy system. Her roots are everywhere. They see all. They know all.
Yep, there was that. Do we want to keep that?
I mean, I think
maybe it's like maybe she has the ability to shoot her roots across the earth, like just quickly grow through the earth and then appear somewhere in maybe like a smaller tree form.
it's like her
basically.
minion.
Yeah, I was thinking like what might happen is somebody might tattletale on the little minions running off and doing something, and so she just like quickly grows her roots like through the earth to reach them, pops up out of the ground. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I like that too.
Scene. It's like that scene from the What If episode with Thor, where
Yeah, when
his
Mothership-
mother is coming. She's just like flying through space as he's trying to clean everything up
Yeah. Yes.
because they got done with him. It's something like that.
Yes, I can agree with that. I think that works. So that way, so the idea that the roots see all and know all has some truth to it, but at the same time, it's something like if I wanted to spy on if
They
the
have to
tree,
be told.
yeah, if the tree wants to spy on a particular person, they can spy on that person. But
But
it has to be a very
they
conscious
don't.
thing. They're not all knowing. Like neither tree are all knowing. They rely on the root system and or the minions.
Yeah, they rely on like other individuals just living about their daily lives, saying, "I saw the minions doing something they shouldn't," and then she goes
Yeah, and
check
I
it
feel
out.
like she has a pretty good network among the people who she keeps alive.
Yeah, which would make for a very interesting story when they decide, when they realize, oh, we gotta go. We should go kill the chaos tree, and that'll end all the chaos. And
But
she's
the
like, "No, keep the chaos tree alive."
Oh, and then they start feeling betrayed by the teacher tree, and they have like a whole moral issue. And
Yeah,
but by the
that would
end,
make for
they understand the value of the chaos tree, and they let it live. Or they kill it, and
even
the
if they're
world ends. It depends what type of story you want.
yeah. I mean, you could add that in where it's like you kill it, the whole world ends. But I like the idea of like you kill it, the world ends slowly.
Yeah, like if
Uh,
they plateau again,
you could
and
have an
then they
interesting thing where maybe they do successfully kill the tree, and then they start to plateau. Maybe they advance quicker in society and technology and stuff than we do, but maybe they also plateau quicker than we do.
yeah, that would make
They get
sense.
comfortable quicker, and so they very quickly realize the ramifications of what they've done. And as they're doing that, the chaos tree can be growing back, so that you actually have, a happy-ish ending.
Yeah.
Uh, where it's like, yes, he's coming back to go and kill people, but he's killing less people. Like,
Oh, like it now
maybe,
realizes the people can come and attack it, and maybe it should be a bit more
yeah, maybe
careful.
that's actually what causes him. It causes them to go and attack the tree. Is he does something where he just goes too far.
Yeah.
Maybe he just it causes some sort of chaos where it's like you went too far, dude. You just killed thousands of people in one blow.
And at
Great.
that point, the teacher tree is like, protection's off. I was helping you. I was keeping you safe, but like, I'm gonna let the
Maybe
people
what happens
decide.
is it escalates over time, where it's like the chaos tree does something that goes a little too far. Everybody gets angry and says, "We're going to kill the chaos tree." Teacher tree says, "No." As they're trying to fight the chaos tree fights back even harder, and
Yeah.
it just escalates until the chaos tree does something that just like obliterates.
Yeah, and then we have the teacher tree being like,
And the
yeah,
teacher tree is like, "That's it. No, it's safer for them to just kill you and then plateau.
yeah,
Like we're done." In which case, this would not be a story of she dies whenever he does.
or
It's
it
just
could be like she knows she's gonna die with it, but she realizes like it's just maybe they're ready to be on their own. She thinks, but it turns out they're not. But she thinks they are, and so she lets herself die too.
I think it might be a situation where where she knows that maybe they aren't ready to be on their own, but it's still better than living with the chaos tree just wreaking as much havoc as he is. Because again, what started off as like maybe maybe the gravity dragon might occasionally come by and you've got to ward him off. What started off as that has now become 12 hurricanes throwing giant spikes of ice at homes and obliterating them while explosive uh, boomerangs are falling from the sky. I don't know.
The world's the limit. The chaos tree can do what it wants, which is a scary thing. And you know, and
The
then
clouds have suddenly become heavy and start falling from the sky and crushing stuff.
I think we're good then. We got a story, and it's an intriguing one with a lot. I like stories with psychological impacts as well as like cool visuals. I think this story is a very good mix of both.
Yeah.
Like you got some dramatic visuals that you can have, but at the same time there's this deep psychological thing of like, do we need chaos as a society to thrive? And if so, how much? And at what point does it stop? And do we ever stop needing chaos, or do we always need it? And like getting to explore humanity's relationship with chaos via two talking trees sounds fun to me.
Yeah, I think that this went pretty well. I'm surprised at how well we managed to make this one make sense because I'm like, okay, so giant Pac-Man that controls gravity, glass, grass, and unicorns with bamboo.
Yeah.
How do we make this work?
I feel like I always knew, like, when we were doing the story, once the tree showed up, I was like, oh, if we do the make sense, I think the trees are what's gonna do it. Like, a chaos tree and the teacher tree are going to bring this world together and be the main elements of this world that, you know, allow it to thrive. And I think this world does thrive, and it is interesting. And I'm not sure if I'd want to live in this world,
I wouldn't.
but I think it would be fun to write about it.
Like, I'm all for a world where people need to be innovating and be moving about and learning and stuff, but not to that extreme.
I think it would be fun to live in the early stages of this world.
Like, I'm like, I'm not even sure I'd really want to live in, like, what we have as the modern world with our technology and stuff. I feel like we're at this situation where society is plateauing because of that. So I'm like, put me in the 80s.
Yeah.
80s has enough comfort and stuff where it's like, I'm going to be fine, but also people are still learning and innovating and,
I want my indoor
guys.
plumbing, but no Twitter.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But then again,
So I'm like,
we wouldn't really.
before
I mean,
smart-
actually, we'd be doing radio or something instead of podcast.
yeah, before smartphones,
Yeah.
Because smartphones, like, as cool as smartphones are and as fun as they are, and I've had tons of fun with them, and they're super useful. If nobody has them, there are alternatives. Sure, those alternatives might be a little bit more complex and not as simple and easy to use and everything, but that's part of why it's better. Is because everything's become so simple and easy and stuff.
Yeah. And you know what, maybe we'll leave that to the comment section to talk about and stuff. Like, let us know what era you would want to live in, and what era do you think was the height of the perfect marriage between human invention and human comfort. So at what point do you think we cross the line from being too comfortable and not innovative enough? Because I feel like most of us can agree we have.
I think that, like, early 2000s might have actually been good.
Like, yeah. But you guys should let us know in the comments what you think. And, like, defend yourselves and stuff. And we'll read them and stuff. And have a good time. And maybe even chat with you guys in the comments. And if you're listening on any of the other podcast things, you can either go to our YouTube channel and comment there, or they do, like, video things where you can actually talk to us via, like, a voice thing. Not your face doesn't have to be seen or anything like that. It's just audio. And you can, like, send us a little voice chat on our main Anchor page, which is linked in every podcast. Whatever podcast you're listening to, the main Anchor page is in the bio somewhere. So you could click that and you could send us a little video chat, which would be really cool.
And with that, I think we're good to go. 80s also had good music.
I don't like 80s music. Okay, guys, bye, everyone.
They had some good music.
Bye, everyone.
Like, I'm not a fan of all of their songs, but...
Bye.
Bye.